What up, world? This is the Young Alumni Leadership Podcast video edition that goes along with the article right down here. Now, you don't have to watch this video. You can always just listen to the podcast, which is right down here. Also, it's just this little red bar that you can click on and you'll listen to the whole article as I read it for you. Now, in this video, I want to specifically talk about what this article is about because obviously the title is How Steve Jobs Views Time. And I think it's a really important concept as I'm writing this new seminar called Break the Mold, where I teach the principles of success and just how certain people use them the right way and certain other people don't use them in the right way. And Steve Jobs uses one of the basic principles that I talk about, which is time. And he uses this in the right way. He has a long-term perspective, which means that he's constantly focused on the 5, 10, the 15 years from now. But he uses that to concretely break into himself so that he can focus on the short term, because he knows, let's say with the iPad, which I love to death, I have the first gen, he knows that in 5 years he wants the iPad to be the most beloved and spectacular and just awesomeness tablet on the planet. So what he decides is that he knows that that's his goal. So each day he's going to do the incremental little steps to make sure that he can reach that goal. So he uses a short-term view in his long-term perspective, which allows him to be able to accomplish his goals and achieve more in 24 hours than most people, because he's willing to set whatever aside that doesn't accomplish his long-term goal in the short term. So he won't watch TV, he will hardly eat, as you can tell how thin he is. He won't spend time on Facebook, Twitter, all the stupid stuff that most people spend their time on. Now, in the Western world, unfortunately, we live in a world that is focused on instant gratification. We are focused on the short term, to get it now, get it quick, get it done, whatevs. And that's the problem, that what it really creates is that we have a culture that's focused on the get-rich-quick schemes, the lose weight without dieting or exercise, and the people who want to become leaders or famous without actually having a skill and just trying to copy other people. So I want to just encourage you to really break out of that short-term mindset and break the mold so you can really be that successful, happy person that you're really destined to be, but unfortunately everybody's telling you that you shouldn't be. And one of the ways that you can kind of see if you're a short-term person or if you're surrounded by them are people who watch too much TV, 5+ hours, which is actually the average, which you'll find out in the article below and in the podcast. People who eat when they're bored, people who just don't know what to do, and they have trouble sitting or reading or focusing on one task at a time. And then people who you just can tell just need that kind of instant gratification. These could be smokers, hardcore drinkers, gamblers, or drug abusers. And that's a legitimate thing, in that inside of their brain, when they use or when they activate that, they feel that instant gratification. There's a little dopamine, just like bing, 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 inside their brain. And for you to be successful, you got to break out of that and break the mold of people who tell you that you got to get it now, and that you as a person become a long-term thinker who's willing to put in the effort and the time to accomplish whatever goal you have, that's, a year, a month, 6 weeks, whatever it is, 5 years down the road for yourself, because you're focused on that outcome as opposed to just getting done and getting to the end where you can feel like, oh, I'm finally done, because a long-term thinker is really never done. So I just want to make this video to give you some information about one of the principles in the Break the Mold series. Remember, you can always contact me on Twitter at YALPHost, YALPHost, or you can email me at YALPHost@gmail.com. And always listen to the podcast, which is on iTunes, which is the Young Alumni Leadership Podcast, presented by CultureGuideLife.com. I am Dustin Norman. I hope you have a great day, and go out there and change the world. You can do it.